This
today to
conference will
continue?
now be recorded.
Sure. Okay,
Okay,
so this might not take as long because a lot of
right,
the preliminary stuff, the introductory stuff we covered in our last
right,
session. So,
right.
okay, so let's talk about what you want in this GL report. So, it's GL posted transactions, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yep,
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link two tables just so you can see how it works. So I'm going to link the general ledger posted transactions, which is GL post, okay, that's this table here. I'm also going to link it to the accounts, which is GLAMF. And the reason I'm going to do that is that would let you bring in the account name, and also it's just a good learning tool so that you know how to do linking in the connector.
great.
So once again, we're going to use, since it's going to be a multiple company thing, we're going to use the consolidation driver in the connector, and I'm going to right click. I'm going to add a new data container. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a graphical join. And those are really the only two options I ever use because the table is obviously just for a single table like we did with the vendors. I'm not a SQL programmer, so that's beyond my, capability. So I always use the graphical join. So we're
Okay,
going to call this GL transactions, and I'll just call it consolidated. Whoops, CONSOL. Okay, so I can know immediately that this is a consolidated connection. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to choose my tables. So I'm going to add expressions. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. I have to actually add tables. So why is it telling me? Oh, I know. I have to actually do the join. So sorry about that. Okay,
oh,
so
well,
now I'm going to click the graphical join tool, and this is going to allow me to link the tables. So I'm just going to click here. I'm going to type, I'm using my keyboard to hit G to get down to the GL tables. So we want GLAMF and we want GL post. GL post. Okay, so we're hitting OK. And now I'm going to maximize this so you can see it. Now I'm going to actually grab this table and I'm going to move it because I always link from the many to the one. So for instance, for each account number in the GL, you're going to have many transactions, okay? So that's the GL post is the many because it's going to have a whole lot of rows that link back to one account. So I'm going to link the account ID to the account ID, and I'm just going to hit apply. And now I've got my two tables. So now I'm
okay,
going to add expressions, and I'm going to add some data fields. All right, so we'll start from GL post. So we probably want account ID, fiscal year, fiscal period. You're not multi-currency, are you?
no, no,
Source type, source ledger. You want the organization. We're going to want the journal date. Do you want the batch information?
yes.
Batch entry. Yep.
What's that?
No, I was thinking we just need the entry
Oh,
number, but
wait,
I'm not
is
sure.
entry, what's the difference between the batch number and I think we just want the entry number, but we call them batches?
So in a GL batch, you might have one batch with 15 entries.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
so
we
we
need
want
them
both. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Because I know in the reports there's some other number that, like
Yeah,
a sequence number.
sequence
that we don't
number
need.
that we don't need, right?
Okay, so journal description, reference, transaction amount. That's probably all you're going to need. A lot of this is all, yeah, this is all a bunch of multi-currency stuff that you don't care about.
God, forgot. No.
Thank God, yeah, multi-currency is a pain. I always groan when I have to deal with it because I don't deal with it enough. Okay, so now we've got these raw data fields, and I'd like to make the column headings look a little nicer, so I'm going to call this just call it amount. Okay, and I'm hitting apply. You can also hit F2 to rename, so reference. That way you're not dealing with the raw data tables, and it'll be a better outcome. Transaction number, entry number, batch number. Okay, journal date, I'll do a SQL thing with that, so I'll just leave that as it is. Company ID.
So you just changed these names so you know exactly what they are.
Yep. Yeah, because these are going to be your column headings.
Oh, the column
So
heading,
you
right,
want them-
gotcha.
Yep.
But if you're going to do any type of SQL to make it that we can understand what it really is, you leave the regular name
I
there.
just leave it, and the only reason I even put this field in is so that I've got a cheater, and I'll show you what I mean by that.
So that okay, so you know what the name is for your SQL.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's kind of optional, but
Yeah, no, I would do the same thing.
yep. Okay, so now I've got my journal date, and the only reason I've got this field in here is so I can do this. Copy the field name, pull my notepad back up, and pick one of my date casts, drop this in, right click, because copy and paste means no typos, so I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yep, so it's going to be a SQL expression, transaction date, and I'm going to hit OK. And since it's a single line SQL statement, I can just paste it in instead of clicking on the ellipsis thing. But I am going to click on the ellipsis thing and make sure my syntax is right, and it is. That's good.
So what are you clicking on to get that to make sure it's right? What is the
See
button
this
that
little thing? Yeah. So here's my SQL statement expression source. The dot.
Wait, I need to move something. Hold on. Oh, okay. We weren't seeing the. Okay. There's an okay there. It was covered by our go-to meeting.
Gotcha. Yeah. So your dot, and if I move this over, it might be a little easier. Yeah. So
yeah, we moved it. We moved our.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to add one more table. I'm going to add the account name. So once again, this is why the whole reason we added that second table, because the GL transactions, the GLPOST has the account ID, but not the account name. That's in a different table.
Okay.
So I'm going to find the account description, and I'm going to rename it. And I'm going to apply. And now I've got I think I've got what I need for my connection. So now I'm going to go back to Report Manager. I'm going to highlight the folder, and I'm going to add report. Once again, it's a standard report, and it's going to be GL Transactions Consol. Okay. And what is my connection? It's going to be GL Transactions Consolidated. Here it is. Now you see why I do that consol, because eventually you're going to have a whole bunch of connections.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to select all except the journal date, because that's not pretty. And now I'm going to go here. Actually, let me go back. Let me go back to my properties, so I don't forget to add my company IDs. And now I'm going to, so account number, account name, amount should probably be down at the end. So this is just a matter, I like to put the company ID in the very beginning. batch number. Whoops, I got a typo in my thing here, but that's all right.
Okay.
So let's see. So the account ID, the description can go up, and then fiscal period. I mean, that's probably fine. I'll move this up. Okay. So now I'm going to run it out and see what we got. So this is going to be a longer report because I'm getting transactions from 2 databases, but it's sample data, so it won't be too horrendous. So you'll definitely want to filter this out because you're doing it from 43. So what's going to happen, it's going to take some time to run this out because it's going to be querying each database. So, all right, so here we are. And here we are. So here's my raw data. Once again, my company ID's here and my SAM Inc. You can see it's a much longer report.
Can I see the transaction date?
Sure. So,
Okay. I move that over. Make it look like our general ledger. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so it's kind of like the GL. Okay. So here we are. Yep. There we got it. Now,
So they have the transaction amount. Does it show debits and credits? Can I or negatives and positives?
It's negatives and positives. Okay. So what you can do is we can do a SQL statement to do debits and credits. So let's see. So this would be, let's see if I've got something like that already done. I always try to see if I've done it before because I'm lazy, basically.
Yeah, well, once it works one time.
Exactly. Okay, so line cost. I got some crazy stuff in here. Okay, so it looks like I don't. So what we would do is it's going to be a case statement. So we'll grab a short one and we'll copy it. And we'll go to Notepad. And we'll go. Okay, so it's only going to be a 2-line report. So this actually isn't a very difficult one. So we're going to look back at our connector. We're going to grab our amount. We're going to grab this field name. And then we're going to say, we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. And so it's going to be is less than 0. No, is greater than 0. Then, yeah, actually, no. We're going to do it like this. Then we give it the amount, else 0. Okay, so these are my 2 statements. It's going to be 2 fields. So we'll go like this, and we'll do less than 0. Whoops, and I got to fix something equals, let's see. Actually, probably we could just do else 0. Yeah, keep it simple, right? Okay, else 0. Okay, so greater than, less than, right? Right. Okay, so we're gonna go like this.
Leave a 0, you just leave a 0.
It'll leave a 0 in the debit column, like instead of having blanks. Sort of like
right.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, we're fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. So we're going to go back to the connector and we're going to say add expressions. It's going to be an expression. We're going to say debits. And I'm going to hit OK because it's a multi-line thing. And so I'm going to hit my 3 little dots. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to execute to see if I did it right. And I did. Yay. All right. So there we are. Okay, and now I'm going to do credits. So we'll go back, add expressions. Once again, credits. And I'll hit OK. And now I'm going to go back into my SQL editor. And let's see, did I get the right one? Nope, so we'll fix that. And you know what I do is, as I build these things, I just add them to that Word document, so I'll have them later, you know, so you can do
Yeah.
that. You can do that too. And let's make sure it works, and it does. Good, good. Okay, so we will
How does
apply.
it know to make a separate column for it, or where do you want me to do that?
Because I've got two fields.
Oh, it's created it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, yep. So, yep, so we're gonna go back to the report manager. I'm gonna delete this column. Yep, and I'm gonna add,
Okay.
so debits and credits. And I'm gonna move my debits up. And now I will minimize that. And I will run it out again. And see how it looks.
So then after we're done this, we can create parameters. Or we
Correct.
can use for account numbers. So this will only
Correct.
work if there's a range of one, like within a range of account
Correct.
numbers.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it possible to create two parameters for two ranges, or is that too confusing? Would we ever have, like I might have,
Well, you've got accounts payable and accounts receivable at two different.
ranges, and we also like federal tax and state tax. Like I need this for tax payments because half the payments in one year is for the previous year, and half the
Right.
payments for the years for the upcoming year. So I need to see the dates, but I could run one for federal and one for state.
So here's your here are your debits and credits. So
Very cool. So you formatted them. I saw you just formatted them.
yes, so if I format it to make it pretty, what I'm going to do, we probably don't need this transaction number field, by the way. That's like the line number within, you know.
Yes, that's
state.
yeah. We don't need that.
Yeah, so you can leave that out. Yeah, so I've just formatted it, and what you do, since I've formatted it, so I will just say data. I'll call this parameters. Okay, and I'll put my cursor outside the data. And the reason I do that is because when you're saving a template, you want to have it in an empty space, because sometimes you'll get a Excel is busy if you save your template with your cursor in the body of the data.
Oh,
you know.
gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So now, since I just formatted it, I'm just going to save template. Save template. And what book am I? I'm in book 5.
Mhm.
That's the important thing. So I'm going to do the XLTX. And now we have a template. And now what we're going to do is we're going to attach some parameters. Okay. All right, so we're going to add some parameters. And that's going to be an account number parameter. So account number is greater than or equal to, and then I'll just leave it blank.
Mhm.
And I'm going to add another line, account number is less than or equal to blank. Now, I need to put parentheses to make this, you can actually see the logic here. So I'm going to right click here because these two statements go together, okay? So properties, and I'm simply going to put a prefix with logic break here, which is the open paren. And then I'm going to, let's make that big again. So you can see my open paren. And then I'm going to right click properties, and I'm going to do my close paren.
Either, but I think what she's doing
Yeah.
is connecting the two statements.
Yeah.
Yep, so that way they're connected. Now, if you were to do, something else that said end date equals end fiscal year, you might want the fiscal year. Do you want the fiscal year, maybe?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, 'cause otherwise you're going to get everything. So now we've got fiscal year is equal
And
to,
the period.
whoops, thank you. Add fiscal
For sure,
year.
give us everything that's out there, that would be horrible.
And we want to.
And then I'm going to use my system variable because it makes it easier. So I'm going to hit the @ sign and I'm going to choose year. So it's going to default to the current fiscal year, which I think is useful. So yeah, so this is how we're building our parameters. And it's all, what I love about Sage Intelligence is it's all kind of in English. So you can see account number is greater than or equal to, and account number is less than or equal to, and the parentheses closed. So you can see this is one little block of info. And then you've got fiscal year is equal to, and then that's that.
Can we do a beginning date and an ending date? Like if you just want 3 months worth of information?
We can. So we're going to add another one. So we're going to say entry date. Where is my date? Transaction date is greater than or equal to.
Okay.
And then we'll use a system variable, and we can just use the date. Okay, that way it'll put the syntax in for you. Okay, and then I'll add transaction date.
I'm stepping on your foot.
Oh, want me to move this over so you can step on it?
No.
Less than or equal to. Let's see, actually, you know what? We're going to do month start and month end. That's better.
Yeah.
I like that better. So I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to edit it so I can fix my change of mind. So I'm going to hit the little @ sign, and I'm going to say month start. I'm going to prefix with my paren, and I'm going to suffix with my end paren. Okay. So I don't know why it always minimizes the screen when I open that up. So now I can see my whole parameter statement. So
Now,
this
one other thing I think I'll need is sometimes I need to see multiple years. Like I need to see, I need to see May 2018 through April 2019.
In that case, probably our best bet, we got a couple ways we could approach that. What we could do is we could just remove the fiscal year, and that way if you cross fiscal years, that's okay. The other way we could do it is do a SQL statement that would give us fiscal year in this format, 2019-01 and 2020-03, like that. So we can actually.
So if we just remove the fiscal year, a month will give us the option to put a year next to the period and the year.
If we just say that again.
If we remove the fiscal year, when the parameter pops up for the transaction date, will it give us an option to put the period, the month and the year?
Yes.
Or just the month?
Be a full date.
So we should just get rid of the fiscal period.
Yep, I agree. So that is what I would do. So let's run this out and see what happens.
Sorry.
So I'm going to hit run. And my params are going to pop up. Okay. So here they are. So you can see, it's a nice little data entry screen. Now you can use the ellipsis and you can choose your account so you can see the syntax, that you need. So I'm going to hit this one.
So that syntax that you're looking at, that's probably the chart of accounts from the Sage that you have open up.
Correct.
Because our chart of accounts is not consistent across all of our companies.
That's exciting. Yeah.
It doesn't matter because we can put in a huge range. Like all the 3s are liability accounts.
Okay.
So we're good with that.
Works.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to actually change, because the sample data, the bulk of the data is in May. So you can see the syntax. You can type it or you can use the little pop-up thing, whichever you want. So I'm going to hit OK, and we'll see what we get.
So when are you and I going to work? Make it our next Wednesday.
Lunch.
Now, what I can do is I can also export this report out and send it to you. You can import this into your system if you want. So that's an option. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that would be great, but this video would be good for us to go through and create it.
right. Yep. So yeah, that worked. I can see from here that my account range was appropriate. And I can see that my transaction date range is only in May. So yeah, we got it. We've got stuff from both companies. So yeah, that works.
That's great. This has been very, very time well spent.
Good.
We should
All
have
right,
done-
so now let's talk about importing and exporting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to export my report. Actually, sorry, I'm going to go to tools and I'm going to export my report and I'm going to hit export report and it's going to
I don't think I've ever used that. Export report.
SI.
I don't think we've ever used that. I just
Yeah,
never
so
paid
this is
attention.
how you get Sage Intelligence reports that someone else has written into your system. So
Oh,
new folder.
okay.
So it creates this little thingy here, okay?
So when I open up my intelligence, I'll see that?
What'll happen is you will import it in and then you
Okay.
will.
Okay,
And you'll have to import it.
okay.
Yep, so I'm gonna put it in a center bridge folder and it succeeded, this is good. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna export this report,
Awesome.
okay? I'll email those to you. Now, how do you get them in your system? I'll show you. So we're gonna just say demo. So I'm going to go to my tools. I'm going to import my report. I'm going to browse to the folder where I saved it. Okay. So we'll do the GL transactions. And then it brings up this thing here, this little input screen. So the most important thing is to make sure you pick the right target connection. So for this one, it's going to be the Sage ACPAC consolidation. So what's going to happen is it's going to import the report, all the settings, et cetera, et cetera. It's also going to import that connector that we created, okay? So you're not going to have to build that. So you're going to say Sage ACPAC consolidation, and you're going to hit import. Now it's going to tell me that connector already exists. So I'm actually not going to do this. You're not going to get this pop-up because you're actually creating, something from scratch. So I'm just going to say no, but that's all you do. And I'm just going to cancel. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Report Manager. You're going to create a folder. You're going to click on Tools. You're going to import the report. And the files will be those SI files that got saved, and then you're going to have both of these reports. You can copy them. So say you want to mess with one, what you can do is you can actually hit copy, and then you can hit paste, and it's going to call it copy of GL transactions. This one has a template. So you always want to make sure your template is consistent with your report name. So you don't want to ever not have them consistent because it really gets confusing, So and then if you rename the report, we'll just call this GL Tran Consol 2. What it's going to do is it's going to prompt me to rename the template, and that's what's recommended. So you'll notice that this here is going to change, and it is now changed. So that's real important because otherwise you can just have a real pain in the neck situation. So that's basically it. So I will email you these 2 reports. I will email you the links for the video, and then you can play with this, and when you need another session, we'll go from there.
That sounds great, Carol. This, like I said, this
This
has
has been
been
great.
really, really great. Thank you very, very much.
You are welcome. Yeah, you can tell I really like this product a lot.
Yeah, it can.
I think you will too. It's enormously powerful,
Yeah.
and you can see all the folders I've got in here. These are different clients, I've written reports for. The financial
Wow.
reporter piece of it is amazing because you can actually do packets that put, all of your companies into one giant Excel workbook, and then a consolidation and, all this kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, if you ever need a consolidated financial statement, you can do that too. So take a look at the videos and
Yeah.
play with this. And here are your two little files coming. And
Great.
let me know if you need anything. I'll let Jim know that we had a good session, and we can go from
Yeah,
there.
well, I'm sure we'll be in touch. Have a nice
All right.
Halloween, Carol.
Hey, you too, and have fun.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.